In this video, I want to talk about the Tomes of Magic in Age of Wonders 4. We're going to talk about it by watching this video that was recently released. I've recently played Age of Wonders Planetfall. I finished the last campaign earlier, and basically this is going to be a video reviewing this Tomes of Magic from a viewpoint of someone who's played Age of Wonders Planetfall. There's some things that I would like change from Age of Wonders Planetfall, and it's looking like Age of Wonders 4 is just going to take the concept of Planetfall, what they did at Age of Wonders 3, and just make everything better. So without further ado, let's watch the video.
Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and I'm collaborating with Paradox Interactive to bring you this tutorial on Tomes in Age of Wonders 4. Tomes are your magical progression in Age of Wonders 4. They are the
Okay, so magical progression. This is basically the research. If you haven't heard about it, but I'm pretty sure you've been watching the videos or reading things. But if you haven't, takes the place of your research. And Age of Wonders Planetfall, I like the research. You have your military research, you have your society research. I like how it was split up. I did think I would like how it was split up until it was done that way, because I'm used to Civilization 6 where each technology goes after other. There's not a discernible difference, but it was really good, and it does make sense because you're basically military and society are two big they're greatly different things. So I didn't know I needed that until I saw it. Tomes are basically, it allows you to specialize in certain things. I don't think that you would have the ability to research different tomes at one time. I'm pretty sure you don't. And with tomes, from what I've seen so far, I'm pretty sure they'll have some military benefits and some society benefits in each tome. So I'm excited to see how they're going to do it that way.
primary way that you unlock new units and abilities for your faction. The system is fairly unique, so we're going to be breaking it down piece by piece and explaining the mechanics from top to bottom. In this video, we will cover knowledge and learning, tome progression, spell types, mana and casting points, and casting spells. When you select a tome to research in Age of Wonders 4, you get an initial bonus.
So now we have the tomes and the little knowledge. So this gives you an initial bonus. This is going to fit into society or military, depending on how you look at it. Because when you research this, then it gives you a camp to build in this building. You can consider it like military stuff, but you still have the tactical operation. I'm using Age of Wonders Planetfall terminology because that's what I've been doing so far. Summon regulars, you'll be able to summon stuff. Blaze of the Horde looks like an enchantment to basically make your units stronger. And then you have cheap units into large deadly armies. So Tome of the Horde is pretty much tier 1. I think he goes over it in this video. Basically, you swarm the battlefield, which is really dangerous. I didn't know that was so important until I played Age of Wonders Planetfall, because I'm just used to making one big super strong like army, and you can get away with that, but like early game it's best to have like six is the massive units per army, and then have like 3 in an army that's a good size. Like you move them through the map together, because inevitably the smaller and weaker units are going to do well. And then I accidentally pressed that. Messed up. Okay, let's continue.
So we're going to be breaking it down piece by piece and explaining the mechanics from top to bottom. In this video, we will cover knowledge and learning, tome progression types.
Okay, let's speed. Okay, now we're back.
The Tome of the Horde gives you +2 chaos affinity, the mob camp special province improvement, and the battle seeker training skill for heroes. The rest of the tome's bonuses will require you to research them with a resource called knowledge. The more knowledge you generate, the faster you will research spells from your tome.
Okay, obvious.
Knowledge is increased by buildings such as a library, province improvements like the research post, and as a tribute resource.
That's pretty much from Age of Wonders Planetfall. Research post, they have research outposts. Age of Wonders Planetfall.
your vassals. There are other ways to get research, like resource pickups.
I've been playing the campaign and I have never made anyone a vassal in the campaign. Like after initial part and they didn't want to become vassals, I was like, didn't want to deal with that.
Quests and affinity bonuses. When you're prompted to research a new spell, you will get offered 3 random choices. If you don't like the options you
Okay, research a new spell. I'm really curious to how this works because I thought the spells came with the tome. And maybe you unlock the tome and then you still have to research the spell in between.
you've been given to research, you can
Maybe I
choose to shuffle your choices
miss
to
saw
get new
that.
ones. If you get offered 2 spells that you would like to research, you can lock in a choice so it will be available on the next research cycle. Both shuffling and locking in research cost mana. Tomes don't just allow you to research new spells. Sometimes they allow you to trade
Oh, okay.
or summon new units.
He explains that in this video. Okay.
The Tome of Winds allows you to train Zephyr archers in your cities, as well as summon the Wind Raiser. You can also unlock new city structures, like the Tribunal from the Tome of Inquisition. Finally, there are siege projects, which can drastically alter the starting conditions of a siege battle. Let's talk about Tome progression.
I think they did a video. I read the dev diary about sieges, and I don't think I watched the video about sieges. I would like to go into that because the siege mechanics looks really good.
Next, every few research cycles, you'll be given the choice of a new tome to research. You can select any available tome of any affinity, so selecting one nature tome does not lock you into researching only nature tomes. Once
Okay,
you
that's
research 2
good.
tomes
Gives
of
you
the same
options.
tier, you can research a tome of a higher tier. So researching 2 tier 1 tomes will unlock researching a tier 2 tome, all the way to unlocking tier 5 tomes, which typically carry the most powerful abilities, as well as your affinity win condition. Tomes of the same affinity combine well together. However,
Tome of Great. I'm trying to pause on. So a tier 3. Summon Snow Spirit, Marching Winter. I'm just reading, just so we can emergency teleportation, phasing enchantment, astral summon phased bees. Okay, so the tome teleportation will allow you to summon. So it looks like each tome will have a version of summoning.
From the faction creation tutorial, Tome of the Horde and Tome of Beasts combine well because both tomes give you access to a tier 2 unit that summons tier 1 animal units. And both tomes provide buffs for animals and tier 1 units, which allow you to have a powerful core ranged army with an extremely strong...
I don't watch many of, because this is made by Potato Whiskey for the Age of Wonders 4 team from Paradox Interactive. You can tell that he likes to break the game. I did watch one of his collaborations with the Spiffing Brit, so... if you ever heard of him, then you know that they like to break the game somehow. So I'm really curious about how they're doing balance, because of course this can snowball. Like you keep on creating tier 1. After I finish explaining this, I'll let it progress and then you'll see how he made it snowball. So it seems like that this basic combination is overpowered from just hearing about it, but depending on how those high tier units perform, it might not be that overpowered, because I know from playing the last mission of Age of Wonders Planetfall, I could have a single stack, and that single stack is so strong that I can take out an army of if it's unupgraded, it just depends on the combination, but them just sending a regular 2 army stack, so 12 units, not going to do anything. So let's see.
Tomes. I take the Tome of Artificing for Artisan Armaments, which gives extra critical hit chance, and the Tome of the Beacon for the Mighty Meek, which allows my tier 1 units to punch above their weight class. For tier 3, I take Tome of Devastation for even more critical hit chance, and making my enemies explode on death. The Siege project, Unleash the Warhounds, works extremely well for me too. At this point, a single army of mine can rip down any city solo, especially if I take the Tome of Vigor, which just continues to make me unstoppable. The Tome of Nature's Wrath allows me to destroy enemy provinces to create forests, and then I can cast another spell to turn those forests into stacks of animals and plants to assault their domains. Finally, we finish with the Tome of the Goddess of Nature. The Force of Nature unit enchantment now means that my animal units have a nearly guaranteed chance to critical hit with every single attack. This is just one example of a research path you can take in Age of Wonders 4. There are 6...
That's why I would like to see, like, everyone has their own method of doing this, like every tier, not tier, but every tome and every play style, not as far as the horde mentality, but be able to break the game, you become more powerful. Because from what I've done. Of course, like if you've seen any of my videos or anything like that, I like to have a story because for future plans, I want to have specific characters, memorable characters for the channel. And I figured out that I most likely will play Lucia Valentine, like if I decide to create my own faction instead of playing the campaign first, because something happened in the Pathfinder Kingmaker playthrough where the game glitched, and now I can use an excuse of her going to another world before we brought her back. So that would be exciting. So the undead thing is the one that I'm thinking about because that fits her. So I'm curious that you might not be able to do it to the same degree with the undead, but the undead, from what I've seen, where they made a long live stream video of them playing it, it does have unique mechanics where you can animate bring back fallen heroes so they're reanimated, they're undead. So I think that's unique. The horde won't be able to do that, so that will open up new possibilities. We have to see how it's played.
9 books per affinity, giving you practically endless possible combinations.
9 books per affinity,
Let's talk about
good.
the type of spells in the game. There are many types of spells in Age of Wonders 4. There are 2 broad categories, world map spells and combat spells. World map spells are cast on the strategic map. They can be unit enchantments that enhance the combat strength of your units, minor and major racial transformations, which alter the species of your faction. Summon spells.
That's one of the things I really like. That has a lot of potential when it comes to mods. We'll talk about mods after this video.
Bonus to a city and sustain city spells that improve an aspect of your cities over time. Friendly and enemy army spells buff and heal allied armies or debuff and damage enemy armies. Terraforming spells change the strategic map, altering the terrain. That covers world map spells. Let's talk about combat spells, which are used when you engage an enemy army in tactical combat. Buff spells enhance your troops. Debuff spells hinder your enemies. Healing spells restore your unit's health.
Basic.
Spells reduce the health of your foes. Combat summon spells bring
now if you haven't seen the previous video, apparently with the healing they only make it temporary HP. That way you can't just heal up in a battle and nothing happens, so it's considered temporary HP. Like if they're already damaged going into the battle and then they heal in the battle, then after the battle they go back to their regular hit points instead of being healed. And I understand that for balance reasons, you could make that make sense realistically, but it's just a fantasy game, so you can just come up with other excuse. It does make sense as far as balancing reason, because in Age of Wonders Planetfall there were some issues with where I fight an army. That's good for me if it happens to me. Sometimes it happens for the enemy, but I'm fighting an army and then I fight the army, and then after the battle my units have regained health because I gave them mods where they heal in the battle. So that's what happens when you're like completely overpowered. You can just heal by battling. So I understand by putting that mechanic in there, and it requires you to think some more. And then for these type of games, they are strategy. I would prefer more thinking involved.
Units to your side in battle. Some spells have secondary effects that aren't caught in these categories, such as the Ignite spell setting the ground on fire, leaving a hazard that changes the battlefield. Spells can also be multiple categories, such as both buffing and healing your troops. Now that we've covered spells, let's go over mana and casting points. In order to cast a spell in Age of Wonders 4, you need mana and casting points in equal measure. Mana is the fundamental currency of magic. It's used to pay for the spells.
1016 mana, good. So you should be able to produce a decent amount of this. Is probably late game because he has 135 casting points. Now I'm curious to see if those casting points are tactical or strategic, like off the rip. Now I'll be all right with them being the same amount of things, because it was kind of confusing. Well, it wasn't confusing, because in Age of Wonders Planetfall you have the strategic operations and you have the tactical operation. You can clearly define your tactical operation points, but then you also have strategic operation points that like go off of a different thing. So I'm curious to see if they just have one casting points by itself. Let's see.
As well as the upkeep cost if a spell is an enchantment or has a continuous effect. You obtain mana primarily from your city's buildings, the conduit province improvement, and mana node resources inside your domain. There are other ways to earn mana, such as resource pickups, certain society traits and affinities, as well as trading with other empires and city-states. Casting points are another matter. You have 2 kinds of casting points. World map casting points.
Oh, okay. He explains it. Look at me. Okay. World map casting points. So they did bring that from Age of Wonders Planetfall. Tome of Pyromancy gives you. Okay, so I guess if you research a tome decently, you'll get world map casting points.
Are used to cast world map spells, and combat casting points, which are used to cast tactical combat spells. This is your primary bottleneck for how often and how many spells you can cast. Unlocking new and higher tier tomes will increase your casting points. Some abilities allow you to have more casting points in battles, or restore them based on some kind of action, like killing a unit. Spell casting itself is surprisingly straightforward. You open up the spell list, select the spell you wish to cast, and then choose the place you want to cast it, if it's a targeted spell. On the world map, different spells target different things. Summoning spells target individual hex tiles, army spells target armies, terraforming spells target an entire province, and city spells target cities. On the battle map, spells target individual tiles, individual units, categories of units, unit corpses. Take care and read your spells carefully. You wouldn't want to misclick and fireball your most important hero into oblivion, or set your units on fire. I am definitely not talking from experience, and I have never once accidentally obliterated my own units with my magical abilities. How dare you? Hopefully this gives you an idea of the wealth of possibilities Tomes in Magic have to offer in Age of Wonders 4. The next tutorial will be
I'm really excited about this. Comes out in less than 7 days. Or not less than 7 days. About 7 to 8 days. Okay, so we're done with that. I'm really excited about this because of the simple fact that not only is the game looking good, and then the DLC, I'm most excited about the Dragonkin DLC. That way, whenever I can bring a dragon kind character that I plan on playing in Solasta, and probably in what's that game? It's based on the other 5th edition game, the Baldur's Gate. Yeah, that's what it is. Baldur's Gate 4 or whatever. Don't crucify me. It's probably Baldur's Gate. I haven't played any of the Baldur's Gates, but the one that's going to come out. But that's for another video. This one for the mods, because they even mentioned in one of their dev streams that they are taking into account the mods. And I can just imagine of people creating their own tomes, like specific, and then do tiered tomes, like bringing something in. I don't know how it's gonna work mechanically, but it can be like a story mode and all this stuff. It's gonna have to be a lot of people like doing these different things from different shows. I can picture some Naruto tomes where you can have tome of the Uzumaki bloodline, so you get some of their battles, or a tome of the different visual jutsu, so you can have the tome of Byakugan. Of course, they'll different levels of the tome. So Byakugan could be like tier 3 or whatever, then Sharingan tier 4, then do an entirely new tome for the Mangekyo Sharingan. That would be, I can see it, I can just see it happen, and then you transform your units. We're gonna have the unit transformance in another video, but since they implemented that can be changed. Tome of Nin, if you've seen Hunter x Hunter, and just have different Nin abilities, like Tome of the it can be all these different things. But I'm really excited to see other people's imaginations and people who enjoy different genres and see how that's gonna turn out. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this like shows you more possibilities. I did see a title, I haven't watched the video yet, but a video titled the D&D of strategy games, so I'm excited to watch that video and then see what he's talking about. I probably might not cover it on this channel, but I'll think about it. But thanks for watching, and if you're excited about Age of Wonders 4, then leave a comment why you're excited, and then leave a comment like if you want to see me live stream it on the day it comes out, or just do a regular recording. Thanks for watching.